Hello everyone, I hope that you're doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. I am trying out different things with my video and audio, so I hope that you will stay patient with me while I figure things out. I've just moved to Mexico and the auditory or the acoustics in my room are a little bit off. So hopefully the audio on this video is okay. If it's not, let me know so I can adjust it further. In this video, I wanted to speak to you about breath work and anxiety. I've done, I think, a couple other videos on this previously where I spoke about how deep breathing, belly breaths, like when you breathe deep into your belly, not just over here, because normally we're just kind of breathing around in this area. But when we breathe deep into our belly, then it's extremely rejuvenating for the soul, for the body, for the spirit, and also extremely helpful with anxiety. So if you're going into a panic mode, or if you're feeling anxiety, or if you feel yourself hyperventilating, or if you notice yourself kind of, going into that state of anxiety where you're shrinking up, you're shriveling up, where you're holding yourself back, or you're holding yourself tight, then one of the best things to do is to take some deep breaths, deep belly breaths. And obviously the point of this is that, when you're in panic mode, you're probably not thinking about breathing deep. You're thinking about whatever you're panicking about. But if you kind of do a breathwork practice every single day, so you kind of do a couple of 5 or 10 deep breaths every single day as like a practice, when it actually comes down to it, when you actually are in that mode where you need that anxiety reset button, you'll be able to kind of go into it very easily. You'll be able to reset yourself, and you'll be able to go breathe deeply when you actually need to without too much effort, because you've been practicing it over the last few weeks or the few months. In general, I try to do at least a few exercises of deep breathing every single day, especially because breathing in general is something that I'm not very good at. I know, and I noticed about myself, that I do hold my breath a lot, especially when I'm working on something that's really exciting or really intense, when I'm excited about work, or when I'm excited about anything really, or if I'm just really intent or focused on something, I do notice that I kind of stop breathing. I'll hold my breath, not consciously, obviously. I think it's completely unintentional, but I'll hold my breath and I'll get very tight. My body gets tense, my shoulders get tense, my jaw gets tight. I'll notice all these effects in my body. And because I know that, constantly throughout the day, I'm trying to refocus on my breath. So I'll come back to my breath and breathe deeply, and then go back to my work. And this kind of reset button really helps, because I notice as soon as I do a deep breath, even if it's just one, my entire body relaxes. The tightness in my jaw relaxes, my shoulders relax, my belly relaxes. I notice a complete change in my body's demeanor, in my work. I notice that I'm a little bit less stressed out about work, a little bit less intense, a little bit more relaxed about it. Of course, there's many different kinds of breathwork exercises, and you have probably heard of many of them already. Wim Hof, W-I-M-H-O-F, he is a big proponent, obviously, of deep breathing and belly breaths and all that. He does a lot of breath work. He calls it the Wim Hof method. Maybe a bunch of you have already done it. I've tried it in the past as well. And then obviously pranayama. And pranayama is the yogic breath. So basically the idea that yoga, the actual positions that we do, the asanas, the postures, is only one part of the equation. Pranayama, which is the breathing exercises, is another part of it. But there's lots of different kinds of pranayamas out there, and so I would recommend that if you are interested in using breath work as a way of alleviating your anxiety, that you go check it out. Go do some research on your own, figure it out, figure out what works for you, and then use that in order to alleviate your anxiety. Do it every single day, a little bit at least. I think I do 10 minutes a day every day. Most days, I would say. I try not to skip the breathwork exercises because they're so good for me, and I notice a sort of ecstasy and a sort of like joy and bliss whenever I do these breathwork exercises, because normally we're not breathing that heavily, or we're not breathing that deeply. We're not getting that much oxygen in, really. And so when we're kind of doing our work, or we're distracted, our breaths are very, very shallow. And when we're able to actually just sit down and focus on our breath is prana, it's energy, it's life, And so if you can just focus on our breath, it is amazing because we can really go deep into it, into our body, into our soul. We can really connect with our mind-body connection. And we can just really, as I said, relax ourselves at a deeper ethereal level. You'll notice a deeper relaxation that you won't notice otherwise, right? The other thing I would say about pranayama is that because there's so many different kinds of exercises, as I said, go on and check them out. But there's a couple that I really like, actually one that I really like that I would share with you, besides the deep belly breaths, is the Nadi Shodha, which is the alternate nostril breathing, right? So it's basically an alternate nostril breathing. And if you are interested, go and check that out online as well. There's loads of tutorials on it. I'll just do a quick demonstration for you just to show you what it's all about. And there's two different ways of doing it. So basically you plug one side of your nose, whichever side you want to start with, doesn't really matter. You plug one side and you breathe into the other side and breathe out to the other side. So you're plugging one side, breathing in and out to the other side, or you plug, and then you go the other way. So you plug in that side and then you breathe into the other side. So you kind of alternate back and forth. So you're just breathing in and out through one nostril, or you do alternate nostril where you breathe in through one, plugging in the other, plug in that one, breathe out to the other. Kind of going alternate nostrils. So breathe in through one, out through the other, or breathe in and out through the same one. And either way you can kind of practice with it and see what you like. As you can imagine, it kind of is a bit more complicated and you have to really think about it. Even when I'm doing these demonstrations, I forget, what is it? Is it first here, there? And so as I said, go on and check out some tutorials on it because, as I said, I've just given a brief preview of it. But because it does require a lot of concentration and you're really focused on your breath, it kind of changes not only your perspective about breathing, because it can be very complicated, but also it really energizes you. It gives you a lot of energy and also vitality. And also it kind of balances out the two spheres of your brain. So as you might know, or maybe you don't know, but we kind of alternate through the nostrils that we breathe in. So we're not always breathing in through both nostrils unless we're breathing extremely hard. So if we're kind of doing a strenuous exercise, then we're breathing in through both nostrils probably. But when we wake up in the morning, we usually start off breathing with the right nostril, I believe. I'm not really sure, but we breathe in through one nostril when we wake up. And then at every hour, your body switches. So after an hour of breathing in through the first nostril, whatever it is, your body switches and then you start breathing into the other nostril, right? So you're not always breathing in through both, which is kind of interesting to me. And I don't know why it exactly works that way. I have no idea. I mean, the body is so intricately built. It's just amazing to me. I'm always fascinated by this stuff. How did evolution decide that it wanted to do it this way? I have no idea. But that's how your body works. It kind of goes back and forth unless it's doing something strenuous and it needs both nostrils to breathe in through. And so of course it means that, if you know anything about the body, you know that the left hemisphere is connected to the right side of the body and the right side of the body. So the left side of the body is connected to the right hemisphere, right? So it's kind of like it crosses over. And the same thing with the nostrils as well. So the right nostril is connected to the left hemisphere and the left nostril is connected to the right hemisphere. And so maybe what the brain or the body is kind of doing is that it's kind of alternating back and forth between the right and left hemisphere while we're breathing through the different nostrils. I have no idea. But I do notice that when I do the alternate nostril breathing, I notice a cohesion in my right and left hemisphere. I notice that I'm able to think not only just rationally or logically or impulsively or irrationally or impulsively, or how would I say it? Creatively, I should say. I shouldn't say impulsively or irrationally, but creatively. And so obviously, I notice a cohesion there. And meditation obviously is very good for this as well. It helps to create a cohesion between the two hemispheres and help them work a little bit more better together. But I noticed that alternate nostril breathing does that for me as well. I just noticed a general balance in my right and left side. I noticed a general balance in my logical versus creative side. And I noticed that if I want to do some creative work or if I want to do something strenuous mentally, then I really like doing alternate nostril breathing before or after it, because it really helps actually. It really helps bring everything together and make it a cohesive core. Now I'm sure there's hundreds of other explanations for this and hundreds of other benefits to the alternate nostril breathing. Every kind of pranayama has so many benefits to it. but I'm not an expert. I only wanted to do this video so that I could pique your interest, and then maybe because you are interested, you'll go and research on your own, which is how we do a lot of different things we do. And so please do go check out pranayama exercises online. There's many different kinds, and I know that if you are into breathing or breathwork exercises at all, you're gonna love pranayama because it's so diverse, and you can choose the kind of exercises you like or which kind of suits your body or your style, and do the ones that you prefer. You know, I prefer the alternate nostril breathing, doesn't mean that you'll like it. And so go check out the different ones that are out there, and then you can kind of use them in order to make your practice better, your yoga practice better, or your work better, or your life as a whole better. I noticed that it affects every single aspect of my life. So again, brief synopsis, very, very brief preview of pranayama or breathwork exercises. Go do some research on your own. And if you have questions, obviously ask in the comment below. Again, I'm so grateful that you're listening. Hopefully the sound on this one is much better than the last one. I really hope so. If not, let me know and I will do something else to improve it. Again, thank you so much for being on my channel, and I shall see you the next time around. Bye for now.